Okay, hi. Hey everybody and welcome to the experiment. So my name is Maram Milkillai and I'm a psychology student. So for those of you who don't know much about the field of psychology, it is a very heavily research and evidence-based field, which means that a lot of scientific studies and experiments do happen in the field of psychology. So even though this is my first time doing an experiment, it's definitely not going to be my last. But for this first experiment, what I'm interested in studying are the effects of wakeful rest, music, and social media on working memory. And in this video, it is going to last a few minutes, but essentially what I'm going to be doing in this video is two things. First off, I'm going to be explaining more about, well, what is the experiment? What is it that I'm going to be studying? What is it that you guys will be dealing with? Just so you guys have more of an idea and hopefully aren't that confused. And after, the second part is I'm going to be explaining everything that you need to know for the experiment and how to do it. So I'm going to be explaining the tasks that you guys are going to have to do. So hopefully no confusion there as well. And yeah, so I'll just go ahead and get started. So for the experiment, as I said, it's the effects of wakeful rest, which is basically, by the way, just a fancy way of saying resting with your eyes open. There's really not much more to it than that. And yeah, and that music, social media, and their effects on working memory. The key word here is working memory, and what is that? So working memory is basically, well, memory is quite a complex thing. There isn't just one type of memory. There are several different types of memory. You have your semantic memory, your episodic memory, your working memory, and you have others. And some of them are long-term and some of them are short-term. But what I care about specifically right now is working memory. And working memory is essentially, it's the type of memory that your brain uses to deal with and process information in the present moment. So for example, right now you're watching me on the screen, or you're reading the words right now presented on the screen. So the type of memory that your brain is using to do this thing at this very moment, well, that's your working memory. And the better you are, for example, at concentrating or keeping your attention on something, the better your working memory is. So for example, when you're studying, if you can concentrate better on what you're studying, if you can keep your attention on what you're studying, then your brain can deal and process with that information better. And so your working memory is better. And yeah, so basically a simple definition of working memory is the mental ability to deal with and process information in the current moment. So yeah, okay. So for the experiment then, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving everybody a memory task. And this memory task requires your attention, it requires your concentration. It's not hard, but it just needs you to concentrate. And basically this task will measure your current working memory, so what it is right now. And then after that task is done, I'm going to give everybody a break. And that break is going to last about 8 minutes, 30 seconds. And in that break, some people will rest, some people will listen to music, some people will open their phone and use social media. And after that, then they're going to go back and do yet another memory task. So I'm going to measure your working memory again. And basically what I want to look at is the change. Whether one of those three things, like social media or music, does it affect your ability to keep your attention? Does it affect your ability to concentrate? And hence, does it affect your working memory? So yeah, that is what I'm going to be looking at. So moving on. Okay, so what I'm going to be showing you guys now is the memory task. And it's something called a to-back task. And basically what it is you guys are going to be shown a white screen, and then letters are going to flash in front of you on that white screen. And basically what you're going to have to do is you're going to see if a letter matches the letter that was shown 2 steps back, which is why it's called a to-back task. So yeah. So for example, right here, if you're shown the letters M, then N, then O, then N, then P, then Q, then P, then only N and N match, and only P and P match. So when you're shown these on the screen, you're going to tell the computer, okay, this doesn't match, this doesn't match, this doesn't match anything 2 steps back. but this does match something that is 2 steps back. So you're going to tell the computer, okay, yes, this one matches. And then P doesn't match anything 2 steps back, so you're going to tell the computer no. This one doesn't match any 2 steps back, so you're also going to tell the computer no. But P here does match something, does match the letter 2 steps back. So you're going to tell the computer, yeah, it does. And to tell the computer if the letters match or they don't, you just need to use the letters F and J on your keyboard. So you're going to press the letter F if the letter does match, and you're going to press the letter J if the letter doesn't match. Okay then. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of a practice run myself so you guys can see for yourselves how it looks like. Fair warning, by the way, the letters do flash quite quickly in front of the screen. So that's why this is a good way of testing your working memories, because you do need to keep your attention on the letters as they quickly pass by, and so that you can see if they match or not. So yeah, I'm going to start. So that one didn't match, doesn't match anything before, doesn't match anything before, but this one does. This one doesn't match anything, this one doesn't match, this one, oh, it did. I was messed up there. And if you notice, if I don't press anything like right now, it just says that I'm too slow, and then it just marks it automatically as wrong. So yeah, that's how it is. And then that's basically the memory task. I'll try it once more, just to show you guys what it's like. Here we go. So this one doesn't match anything before, nothing before it. This one doesn't match, but P did match. This one didn't match, this one didn't match, this one did. This one didn't match, this one didn't match. Okay, that one I got wrong on purpose. But yeah, basically I think you guys know what it is. Don't be weirded out by the scores. I've been doing it several times, just like trying it out. So yeah, that's basically that is the memory task. And right now what I'll do is, after this video is done, I am gonna give everybody a few chances to practice it on your own. So this one's for you to mess up, for you to play around with, to figure out how it works. This is not gonna be like with the results. So it's not gonna, you know, the score doesn't matter at all. So once you guys kind of get comfortable and get the hang of it, then as I said, you can do the real experiment and the real memory task afterwards. So yeah. Okay, so I'm excited to say that it's finally time for the experiment. A couple heads up though before, is psychology experiments are quite controlled. It's best if they're controlled. So what that means is, during the psychology experiments, it's a lot better to limit any distractions, anything that might possibly take your focus away from the experiment that you're currently doing. And the reason is, if you're going to properly see if it's only social media or only music or only wakeful rest that actually has an impact and an influence on working memory, then you have to make sure that nothing else is coming in the way that might be affecting. So yeah, it's best if you guys can remove any distractions possible. So please, during the experiment, go to a room where no one's going to disturb you. Tell any of your family members or friends around to just not disturb you for the next, I don't know how long this lasts. I think this experiment lasts about 15-20 minutes, but you know, to not disturb you for that time. Please turn off notifications, anything that will definitely get your attention away from the experiment, and try not to talk to people during. So yeah, that really would help, and it would really make sure that if there is a change in your working memory measurements, then it's not due to anything else but what you are doing in your breaks. Okay, and then as for the breaks, by the way, since this experiment is quite controlled, please only do what you're assigned to do in the breaks, which means that those listening, so those in the wakeful rest group, please don't do anything but resting with your eyes open. I know it sounds boring, but please don't. And those in the music group, please don't do anything but listen to music. Please don't use your phones or open any apps. And then those in the social media group, please don't do anything but use social media during that time. And for the music group, I have sent everybody a link of what you're supposed to listen to in that break. Unfortunately, I wish I could give you the freedom to just go around on your playlist, but there is a specific type of music that you will have to listen to. So you guys will have the link for that. And those using social media, stick to one app. Don't go from app to app. I will talk to you beforehand what app you will be using. So yeah, that's about it. You guys will see some documents, some ethics documents. Feel free to read them. You don't have to, honestly, you can just click yes to them. But everything that's in the document I kind of already said in person, so you don't really need to worry too much about that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And let me know if you have any questions, anything at all. I'm a huge nerd, so I would happily answer any questions that you have about the experiment. Hey guys, okay, so I'm back just to clarify a few things that some participants were confused about. So I wanted to include this in the video so that people in the future doing the experiment aren't confused with it. So the first thing is that the memory tasks, they're quite long. So what it is it would take about, I think, 3 minutes, but there are several pauses in between. And then in the pause, it will just stop for a moment and say keep going, and then once you press to keep going, it'll give you the task again to do, and then it pauses and tells you to keep going, and then you have to do the task over and over until those like 3 minutes end. So yeah, some people were confused. They didn't know how long it was going to last for, if there was a problem with the experiment. Don't worry, there's no problem at all. It's just kind of long. So yeah, when it stops, the experiment will stop for you, and it will tell you when to stop and to take your break. So don't worry about that at all. And the second thing is, when you take your break, you don't need to worry about timing yourself. The timer is part of the experiment, so the clock starts automatically itself, and you will see the clock on the screen. So yeah, you don't need to worry about timing yourself at all. And then the third thing, which is the most important, and please guys, don't forget to do this, is do not exit from the experiment at all until you see the red finish button. If you don't see that, then unfortunately it's as if you guys never participated, and I'll never get your results and everything, so your information is just like lost somewhere. So please don't finish until you see a red button that says finish, and then after, it will automatically take you away from the experiment. So you will know when you see it. So yeah, okay then. With that being said, good luck everybody.